Surah 1. Total freedom of self is to first turn ourselves inside out by reaching into our subconscious. We must deeply concentrate on sending our conscious energy inward and explore inner levels of our mind. Do not let outside things or wandering thoughts break your concentration power. Channel them into the subconscious and probe its depths. When you have discovered the innermost depths of your subconscious, you will be ready to use its energy, and it in turn will serve you well. When it begins working for you, you have total freedom over self. You need not call on any power higher than self. Surah 2. Complete control of self is having your right hand do differently than your left hand, with the right foot doing differently than either hand, and left foot doing differently than the other three, and mouth moving while tongue speaks all at the same time, controlled by both the conscious and subconscious mind in union. Surah 3. Reach into the lower depths of spirit, and you can travel dimensions at will. When you have conquered self, you can conquer spirit. Concentrate beyond the subconscious to a far-reaching depth, and send out spirit, channeling it through the inner beam of self-soul energy into outer levels. Travel through levels of timeless, spaceless, and material-less wastes into the prava of Akka, unto the point of total Aksa. Surah 4. One can escape the confines of one's body through spirit energy and erase time and space. Spirit energy is full and overflowing and must be brimmed off time after time, or the mental energy becomes clogged. The clogging of mental energy stifles the conscious, and one comes into a confused state. While in a confused state, one can be controlled by others. The key to brimming off energy from the spirit is through dimensional travel. Dimensional travels are levels of higher planes of thought. There are dimensions within ourselves hidden in the innermost recesses of our mind. Surah 5. One can never be free until total self and total spirit becomes free of alliance with all. Break away through total concentration of innermost energy into higher planes of conscious thought, and the alliance is broken. Surah 6. Although a material prison of stone and wood, your body it does hold. The spirit cannot be held or energy therein. With the freedom of spirit, the mental energy also becomes free, and the prava of soul escapes your confines of physical body, which is but a prison within itself. Surah 7. Although I am held by physical self of physical body, I will always be free to go where I wish, to walk roads with friends, to eat at their tables, to laugh and talk with them, because I go of prava within myself and free as that self. Surah 8. Even though I die of physical self in material chains that bind my body, I have long since gone, and am free with prava self. Surah 9. Oh, but you that should ask, what be this your spirit self? Our bodies of physical material energy are held by the illuminate force and energy of the one thought that became onto itself from the beginning, and an outer force holds it together. This outer force is the prava, which is the true self. Once the prava breaks away, the body of the physical self recreates itself wherever and whenever it so wishes to be. Through innermost self and energy, prava becomes free. Surah 10. This is also one step of many to reach masterhood in the way to AKA. Surah 11. We are never alone. The earth has the trees have the earth. Even the stones are an alliance of us, and we an alliance of them. One must become conditioned for a long time to become lonely, for loneliness is a control condition of society, taught by society, and passed down as old garments. I can never be lonely, even in the starkness of a barren desert, for the sands are within alliance of me, and I am in alliance of the sands. Surah 12. 1,000 thoughts and 1,000,000 new things, dreams and plans flutter upon the surface of my mind. I could happily sit there for eons of time and relish in its new knowledge, and be fulfilled over and over again, with this grandiose wisdom that comes to me in every waking moment. Boredom is an illusion. It is but a word, yet meaningless. I do not conjure up boredom. It can never precede me, or will I ever go before it, as I have never experienced it. I am too much alive. Surah 13. I also do not know regret, for I regret nothing. To regret is to be sorry, and I do not believe one should ever say they are sorry, for to be sorry is to be powerless. I am not powerless, for I am power. There is no one who can bind me by regret or make it powerless, for if so, then I am surely dead. Surah 14. There is no darkness in even a lightless cell or a prison of stone that a light will not shine forth from you to illuminate even the most minute corners. Even a physical light can pour out of you from deep within, if you are beside yourself, if you know that you, as yourself, are in complete control of the present self, of the present moment, of the present time. Illuminate yourself within as without, and you shall see into the darkest depths of reality and self. Surah 15. I have never experienced ugliness. What is ugly? I see beauty in all creation. even the makings of a man. A decaying body eaten by worms can become a thing of beauty if you know the plan of God, or the beauty of God set forth. Nothing I have seen is ugly. Each is different, and what is not the mode of what I may have seen, or is but a crude image of a haphazard look from another, is but a work of art to the artist, but a praise from their kinsman, and a blessing from God. Surah 16. The art of listening is to look into the face, not the eyes. One speaks with the face, not with the eyes. The eyes only say yes and no, but the face knows an endless supply of communication. The voice only speaks what the face feels. It's the face that talks. The tongue only moves for the face, but only the face speaks. Surah 17. I have sent out my thought power into the flowers, the trees, rivers, and even the wind. The wholeness of myself entered into the flowers, and it reveled in the beauty, the scent, and the purity of myself. I entered into the trees and swayed alongside of the breezes. I, with my branches, shook hands with the sky and spoke to the birds that nested in my branches. I entered into the waters of the river and flowed along to sea. I awed at the passing scene of high cliffs bathed in all the colors of the rainbow, of vines with perked flowers draping the brown banks, of boats bobbing on my crest, of rocks clinging by my edge in the freedom of rushing away. I entered into the wind and lifted myself up and over the treetops, hills, mountains, seas, rivers, and high above the earth. I felt greater than any bird, stronger than any beast, lighter than any feather, and faster than a falling rock. I glided, I drifted this way and that, forever free. My thoughts are always free, and they blank out all prisons from its eyes and set me free. Surah 18. A person should be able to think what they will and say it out loud that others can hear, and if others do not wish to hear, they should be allowed to lift their hands up and clap up their ears so they hear not. One has the right to speak out to all what one believes in, and those that do not believe of what one believes in can turn a deaf ear, but let them speak of what they will. Surah 9. The Creator did not create every creature to be the same, or make humans believe as one. The man who says, "Believe in what I say," or "You shall not live oneself, shall not know life." For to deny another one's right to believe in what one will, or to deny another one's right to refuse to accept what you believe, is ludicrous, and only a fool would deny you. Surah 20. The only reason we are limited in our knowledge and freedom is because of ignorance. The only reason we are ignorant is because of not being alert of negative situations by our dull senses, which had been programmed from birth. If we had not been programmed and could control our own lives to total fullness and as to a perfect plan, so it should be. Wind and fire are limited. Neither wind nor fire can live in a vacuum, where are walls that protect all. But your true self is not limited, not protected. It is limitless. Open yourself, your soul, your spirit, your heart, and let the unknown flow in and be digested into the known. Let nothing that is unknown stay unknown, but let it be known, for the Creator has no secrets. The power Creator gave us before birth was intended to be used to its fullest. Why deny ourselves this opportunity when it lies before our face? Empty your minds of all negativeness, slaving, programming, and frozenness thoughts, and open all your thought channels to receive the unknown, that you can make it known, and sharing your wisdom with others, that they might be free as you also, without restrictions, without being programmed, enslaved, frozenness, and catalyzed. Free yourselves, free your sisters and brothers. Surah 21. A woman came to me while I was yet in prison. She told me she wished to see me as I was an inspiration in her life. I told her in return that if I was an inspiration to her life, I hoped it would be as a great teacher. But as a person, I was equal to her in every way except two things. She asked me what those two things were. I explained that first off I was a man, and that the second thing was I was actually below her equal, as I had been in the majority over her sex for years, knowing it was not right. So she asked me if I was free enough to accept change without feeling negative toward my inner self. I replied I was not, as I had personally felt equal to all creatures, but that I was afraid to speak out, but that I am no longer afraid because I was ready to fight for what I believed in, and because I wanted to be free. She then told me, "You are already free because of your thinking and because of your actions. For freedom is to be practiced that which you believe to be positive deep within your most inner self." She told him she was Bella, twin sister of Belisa, and that I was surely blessed by the Creator. I replied in return, "Keep your blessing for the unknowing that they might become free and do unto others as they would hope to be done unto them, and for the equality with others, that all might become and remain free." Surah 22. The majority always held themselves in esteem, looking up to themselves and down upon others. if not sometimes to themselves. What say you? Are they more honorable than you? Are you not more honorable than them? No woman or man is more honorable than you. Surah 23. Long have many small clans of people been put down. Long have women been addressed second. Let us then now address the sexes as such. Woman and man, wives and men, queens and kings, princesses and princes, and let woman now come first. Let them come before men. Surah 24. Because your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, and elders told you all that you know to be true. Does that them make it true? Open your minds. Do not block out knowledge. Surge ahead. Search. Open yourself, receive the unlimited, free yourself from ignorant bondage. Even those that are still bonded believe they are free and are not bonded, for they are like blind men lost in darkness. Surah 25. Deny what you know to be true until you have seen the truth in your heart. Be the judge of yourself. Let no man or woman decide the truth for yourself. Are thou not judge and master of your own life? Are you so weak that others shall influence you? Are there truths any greater than yours? Is not the Creator of all more divine to you than your mother or father, who created them also? O most honorable of thyself, are not thou the truth-bearer and judge of yourself? Look not about above or without, for thy salvation and glory is within. Unless thou see it, believe it not. Unless thou experience it, believe it not. Unless thou feel it in every portion of your physical, mental, and spiritual being, believe it not. Surah 26. Man came upon this earth without wants and lost it many times. Will he finally give up the fight and destroy oneself within and without? What say you? Why have you lived in vain? No human has the right to war upon another, to strike another who will not agree with them, or who will not serve them. What is not yours, but belongs to another, and they will give you not what is theirs. Do not war with them to take what was never yours in the first place, or you will lose it and everything you own. For whatsoever you put forth, the same shall return to you. Surah 27. A man once asked a wise man what life meant to him, and he replied, Life is like a flowering plant. The seeds are sown, it bursts open and sprouts a thin hair of green. It grows into a large stalk. Branches spring out from all sides. Leaves form. The leaves turn different shapes other than its own and bud into flowers. We are first seeds. We burst to life, and from our seeds springs forth a body taking form. The stalk is like birth. The branch is like our growing. The leaves are like our learning and practicing period. The different shapes the leaves form are like the different searches for the meaning of life. And the flowering of the plant is like our finding the meaning of life. The meaning to me was this wonderful, growing, heightening experience that makes it all worth living for. Life means to me that I'm glad I was born and could experience all that ever happened to me. Life means to me the gladness of sharing my life with others and learning from others. Surah 28. A man once asked me a strange question. He asked me if I was some sort of prophet sent by God. I answered him thus, We are all divine, for we are the manifestation of that which created us. Therefore we are all part of it. We came from it, for it thought us up and convinced itself that what it thought, it could also create. It believed that its thoughts were real. We are but an illusion to the Creator. Can you prove that you are not an illusion or that you are real? If I was a prophet sent by God, then I had sent myself to prophesy for myself, for I am God. I told him that he was God, the only God, and that there was no other God but he. I told him that I was God, the only God, and that there was no other God but myself. I pointed to a tree and told him, There is God, the only God, and that there was no other God but the tree.